Some of them you see proficiency in, you need to be proficient in any of the Microsoft Office suite. So if you have this certification, you have it already, you've done it inside the school. That's the edge I'm talking about. Do you understand? So when you go out of school, there's no need for you to start looking for, how do I become certified as the Microsoft? This job requires me to be certified as Microsoft Office specialist. How do I become certified as that? You don't have to work on that, because while you are in the school has already given you the opportunity of having such certifications and that edge. So it becomes easy for you. When others are like, let them go start doing Coursera course. When others are saying they want to start doing looking for courses, Udemy courses and all of that, you already have it and you're confident because you've practiced these things and you know them already. The next slide, please. So we also have Project Management Institute. Funny, interesting thing is these certifications are not just from Anchor University. They are directly from these international organizations. They are directly from these international organizations. And they are the ones that will issue, immediately you're done with your exam, they're the ones that, the exams are done online, am I right? Exams are done online, and you issue your certificate once you pass, immediately, sent to your email, immediately, and you already have that proficiency that, oh yes, you are certified in this field. Now we have Project Management Institute, which is from the Project Management Institute, PMI, the International Project Management Institute that we all know. So the program introduces students and professionals to the globally recognized frameworks and standards of the Project Management Institute. Participants and students gain a solid foundation in project planning, execution, and it's not just physical, it's not just theory. You are getting hands-on practicals when you're doing all this. You're getting hands-on practicals in the different courses that we are offering. So participants gain a solid foundation in project planning, execution, monitoring, and closure using internationally accepted methodologies such as PMPI and Agile. So this course is designed for aspiring project management managers and experienced professionals seeking formal certification pathways. This course equips learners with the tools to lead projects effectively, manage resources efficiently, and deliver results within scope, time, and budget. Now, there are times when you leave the school, you might need to be involved in creating a project, in organizing a project. So if you have this kind of certification, it gives you the edge, like I said. Please, the next slide. So we also have Adobe Creative Suite, which includes Photoshop, Illustrator, and Premiere Pro. We also take the certification exams in these areas, in both in Adobe Photoshop, the Illustrator, and the Adobe Premiere Pro. We also have Intuit Bookkeeping. That's for those that are in the accounting field. They also combines data analysis and visualization and all of that. The next. Also, we are also looking at working on, the institute presently is working on getting approval to offer these courses. Before the next how many months, we're going to get approval, become a PSCVUE authorized test center, which make us to be offering IELTS, SAT, GRE, GMAT, and other internationally recognized exams. So this is basically what we do at the Institute of Digital Humanities, Anchor University, Lagos. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Joy. I'm sure some of you have questions and you would want to know more about this. So you can reach out to the team after the program or come some other time to make more inquiries about which one suits you perfectly. So, to the moment you have been waiting for, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today, and please bear with me as I read the biography. Our guest speaker is Felix Oke, a PhD student in the School of Information Sciences at the University of Illinois, Urbana. Archives as data, bringing computational tools into the art of humanities. His recent work explores the relationship between intertextuality and explainable AI, with a particular focus on 19th century African-American print culture. His research interests span digital humanities, digital libraries, natural language processing, text mining, text analysis, and computational linguistics. He holds a Master of Arts in Digital Humanities from Loyola University, Chicago, a Master of Arts in English from ladies and gentlemen. Please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to Mr. Felix Oke.
Thank you so much. I hope you can see me from your end, even though I can't see you. Can you hear me, please? Miss Joy, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
My name is Felix. Thank you for the privilege to be with you today, actually, and thank you for the director, Dr. Mustafa, and really grateful for the privilege to come to share. And we already have a good start from the intro to DH and what the center really works with. Maybe I should say it from the beginning. Years and I lecture in English. So feel free to bring up your questions. So I'm not a stranger. We can have nice conversation. I mean, not just the talk. So and global opportunity in the 21st century. I know some of us would have heard about this term, DH, or digital humanities. So I'll give you a little bit of intro. Then I'm trying to conceptualize or perhaps maybe say operationalize some terms for us to understand, then pivot to so I want you to relax, take your pen. I love to teach, so even though it's virtual, take your pen and pay attention to things that apply to you. Perhaps you write it down or answer. So I'll be willing to do that during Q&A. So let's switch gears. DH, which is what is called Digital Humanities, it's an interdisciplinary program or course or field or discipline. So you take it this way, and the two together. And by this, I mean you have some methods from computer science, which will be applied to your research questions in humanities. I don't know who are the sect of student there, maybe from English, from history, from international relations, any other field that you think will be classified as humanities. We want to learn tools or skill sets that can help us to do what we do naturally. So that's the concept of digital humanities. So we combine the digital methods or tools and to make that happen. A quick one. I'm sorry from the co-host. I've tried to accept Dr. Mustafa. Is going to switch this link to another one. So perhaps maybe you send through your initial link and send it to him. Maybe that would work. A bit of myself, PhD students in information sciences, you're free to ask more questions. Meaning, how do I move from English to information sciences? How do I switch from humanities to maybe what you call sciences in some ways? It's not a long trip, but you You can be an English major or French major or linguistic major and still make more impact. So my background is in English, English literature, and I specialize in English language discourse analysis. I also do more phonetics and phonology. But now I switched over to information sciences to do more serious work about how natural language processing can help us to transform historical records like newspapers and digital libraries or books and anything you can think about. So thinking about my taking a leap into the opportunities that you have at your disposal. I'll begin this talk by paying attention to something that could be an example for us to think about before we begin to make clear cuts instead. Miss Mercy or Miss Joy, can you see the screen from your hand too? Can anybody just say yes or no? Anybody from the audience? So I know you're there.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I'll give an example from one of my professors, Professor Rebecca Rissam, who happens to be an English major, just like you are. But she started with normal coding. I mean, trying HTML, CSS, JavaScript, or Java. And from there, she began to working on W.B. Du Bois works. And she was thinking about how do I begin to build a website on our projects. And she was able to do more work on justice. She's a professor, so she's gone through that kind of pathway from humanities, willingness to learn, then to what we call DH. She's a director for now shifting to the right screen, if you can see, how do you as students right there in Lagos at AUL, as humanities students in Nigeria, position yourselves for global opportunities in 21st century? So that's the question we attempt to answer those questions in different forms. One is you have to look at your identity, you build skill sets, you do networking, you do projects, and you do career pathways. So these are the learning objectives. At the end, you should be able to know who you are and connections with people, and what projects will you start today or next week, and what pathways are you looking at for. So take it into your mindset, and let's build from there. Taking a radical shift today, the benefit in the 21st century. I'm taking a shift from entrepreneur, and just take me for that. Entrepreneurship is one of the areas I really love. Build business, build portfolios. I'm taking concept and operationalize it to explain what I mean by the theory of effectuation. Never mind the big concepts by Sarasvati, 2001, has to do with how a business person like Elon Musk building Tesla would think about gathering money, getting people. But this theory of effectuation is saying, no, 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 you don't have to do that. You start from what you have. So there are a couple of principles. I only take one for explanation, and one is just a bird in hand. So I have to extrapolate with that principles in entrepreneur and shift it back to what we're talking about today. The first, you don't have to start from where Elon Musk starts from. You don't have to start from where Professor Rissam started from, you have to begin from yourself, your identity, your interests, your natural abilities, your cultural context, your strength, even your limitation, what you can do and what you cannot do. Part is, what do I know? I moved away from your personality to your knowledge. What have you achieved from, I don't know what level you're at, 100 level, second year, third year, fourth year, even at the fourth year, what have you learned? What capital do you own? Not money, I mean your knowledge, your fundamentals, your capability, your exponential, and the growth. And the last part is, who do I know? This is a good part of it. I know myself. I know I have limited knowledge. I'm trying to learn more. You can imagine those three triad. You can actually see, how do I navigate this DH or my humanities discipline, my traditional humanities discipline by these three items: the burden earned, the knowledge as capital, and the network as level. In humanities, and how that could help us to do more. Take another example. We're familiar with Chimamanda Adichie, Popular Because, Half of a Yellow Sun, the Americana, what else? Lots of novels. She was an English major, so she wasn't that big at that time. She was an English writing from Enugu before she moved to the US. And she began with what she had. She knew herself. That's your identity. And she has a knowledge about the culture of Igbo. And now she developed writing through blogs and podcasts and social media. And before you know it, she's one of the bestsellers in a book, or Americana, missing one in between. So she's a typical example of everybody sitting down here. You start from what you have, then you just develop consciously. You learn how to develop that thing you have, and you broaden it. I want it makes you lose track of time. Sometimes you're buried in reading or writing, and they keep asking you, let's go to the cafeteria. I say, I'm not going now. I want to finish what I'm doing. What topics make you lose track of time? What injustices keep you awake at night? Some things happen during Friday prayer, during break time, or during sports, and you feel that was not really good. You want to ask questions. If you keep teach, if you could teach a class on anything, maybe you are the one talking today. What would it be? What are you passionate about? And what do friends and family always, where whatsoever we are looking for, you are the only one that can get it for us, either online, either in person. So those are the things you already have. How do you develop them? So I want you to take a pause and write three things about that define your intellectual identity. Some of you like short stories. You like writing. You like to face crowd. So you think about three things that really defines you. Defines your intellectual identity. You will need it at the end. So just take a note as we move on. So your cultural context is not a gap. It's not like I am lean assets. Let's take the second one. What do you know? Don't forget the previous one is who are you? The second one is what do you know? I have decided to break this down into three levels of knowledge production or knowledge in general. First is fundamentals, the basics. Take English 101 or English 111, 101 or so, 111. maybe 101. Then you learn about basic introduction to English or introduction to language. Then you learn about the 4 levels of linguistic analysis. You have those, and on and on and on. Or you start with a sentence and paragraph and document and on. The fundamentals is basic. You have to have the fundamentals. So begin and master your field, your discipline. Whoever is in history, know that field very well. They can help you with your fundamentals. So you have to begin with your fundamentals, the history, the methods, and the debate. Even if you enter by accident, let me say this. Some of you might think, English? No, I wanted to study law. I don't know why my mom asked me to come to Anchor. Even if it's perchance you are here, why don't you take the English has different areas. It has literature, it has the language. The literature has different areas. So you can decide which area am I interested in. If you don't really know any area, speak to Dr. Omoru or speak to, in French, Dr. Babayemi. Just speak to people that you know that I need help. Or maybe in another department, speak to your head of department. Course or field, I need help. They will be willing to help you. That is fundamentals. You have to do the primary way of reading and developing yourself. The second one is capability. You build skill sets. It's good enough to learn different skills, but you have. How do you build skill sets? You join people who are working on projects, who are developing something in the school. I remember at a time back then in Anchor, we were trying to develop digital timetable. So we gathered together from computer science students and we use the language lab. I don't know if think about how do we do a timetable that is digital across the university campus. At the time, we wanted to develop a smart card that you can use to pay behind the faculty for food and pay in cafeteria. Develop projects. Think through what you can actually do that is countable. This is a scenario, not real. Our history students at University of Ibadan created a database of Nigerian newspaper. Maybe you gather newspaper together from 1960 to 70, and you were interested in civil war, and you want to see which tribe was affected, what have you, and on and on. And from there, you were able to secure a PhD program in another university because you were able to do that kind of projects. I've discussed fundamentals. This is a basic thing you have to learn in your field. The growth level. Let's take another scenario. At 200 level, don't forget scenario is a case study, not real. I have decided to remove the names from there so that nobody's saying that's my name. In Anchor University learns Python in 3 months, which is an object-oriented programming language. Analyzed using that programming set, key skill set, it was able to pick Nigerian novels. More male or female? Do you have more male or female in Nigerian novels? And perhaps there is a conference coming up in South Africa. It's called SADILA, South Africa Digital blah 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 conference, and you just push it. Perspective in Nigerian novels using blah 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 blah, and the abstract was accepted, and I was able to get to the conference. And from the conference, he met someone who would get him or her up for a master's program in UCL. Within 6 of your field, the question you are asking, gender, genre, type of fiction. That's the question you want to ask, but you need this skill set to do that. So within 6 months, you'll be able to develop from the normal fundamentals to skill sets. Who are you? Number two, what do you know? Number three, who do you know? This is the big part of this talk for me. I mean, one of the interesting parts, network and resources. Let's take another example. Whose paper she had read, maybe a paper on corpus linguistics, or a paper on computational linguistics, or a paper on historical linguistics. Asking thoughtful questions about corpus linguistics, for example. The professor invited her to join a research. Professor Francis Ibuhare is a professor that works really well on Nigeria Pidgin. Yeah, there's a Niger project, Niger stuff. So, and maybe the student reached out to the professor, and this is the question I'm asking about Pidgin, Nigerian Pidgin. And she was able to co-author a paper, and she was able to present in a conference, and she was able to pursue a PhD in XYZ. Just take another look. You have a ready-made email template, and you put the subject 15 minutes conversation about whatever thing you want to think about. You mention a specific paper you've just read. You ask one thoughtful question. You offer to walk around whatever time will be convenient for them. Perhaps you include your CV for every email you send out. But you can be sure you get something positive that will say, oh, Felix, can we schedule a meeting together? Felix, thank you for sending me the email, but this is what I'm thinking about. Would you be willing to join me? Networking. I have examples for us that are not far to seek. What you have is first the UNILAG Center for Digital Humanities. Of course, you have the IDH with you in the Institute of DH in Anchor. But if you want to move further, Français de Research en Afrique. French people, pardon me. You have SADILA in South Africa, and you have Alliance for Digital Humanities Organization, Association for Computing and Humanities, European Association for DH, all about these global networks that can help you connect the dots. Let's talk about the resources. There are a lot of tools. You might not be aware of them, but now you should pen it down. You have some free tools that you can use to ask analysis tools. You have your LTK, National Language Toolkit, which is going to help you to map people, places, organization in a particular text. You have your SPACY, which is a good model that can help you do more of your text analysis. You have your AntConc, which is a locations, geography. And if you think you need to attend small section of classes that will help you beyond the courses you take on campus, you have summer schools. If you reach out to some of these organizations, you can. So, and you have open data as well, like Nigeria Open Data Portal and so on. And you have your British Council, you have your National Archives in Ibadan, in Lagos, in Abuja. You have lots of resources that can go back home. Mention, these are list of popular, maybe some of the programs we run. English, history, linguistics, French, or languages, international relations, or political science. That's an example of some of your programs. How do you – digital literary studies. I remember Dr. Omaru works on drama or performance of, or yeah, folklore, drama, performance. How do I connect it with, how do I connect the beginning of a story, the middle of a story, and the end of a story? If you are from history, there is this digital history using digital in front of each program or each discipline. Voyant is good for English. Timeline JS is to map the different historical periods and time. For Python LTK. If you're in French, maybe you want to talk about machine translation. You have Crowdy, which is a free open source. Maybe you're from information international relations, or you are from communication. You have data journalism, you have information retriever. Flourish is a good example. If you're from political science, you can do CSS, computational social science. Orange is also a good example. So think about your program as you are there. See what questions would you be able to ask that this tool would enable you to do pretty much first. Imagine I'm working on African American newspaper with thousands and millions of pages. How do I do that? Do I begin to read every day? That's going to take me longer time. Or write on a local machine or on HPC, high performing computing. This is possible because I know the tool and I know the question I'm asking. Let's move ahead. If you look at this horizon, there are 6 dimensions of practice in digital of interpretation. That is, you pick Achebe, things fall apart, you read from page 1 to page 282, or you use the soft copy and use a software to do the reading for you, close and distant reading. There's a section for significance, the number, the figures, the pie charts, the bar charts, the patterns, the networks, the visualization. There is a part that we usually concentrate on data, not only in science. In humanities, we have data, historical data. We have oral history. You can actually run some algorithm on. Interestingly, I love modeling. By that, I mean, I think about my data and I think about how to map it into modeling or data, conceptual data structures, so that it can help me to move around different scales of analysis. You can do simple Python, you can do simple HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, just to make up one side of it. There's a section for documentation. You might not want to code, but you focus on technical documentation of softwares and tools, or anything you do. Us. 3 projects you can start tomorrow. Today is Wednesday. With all free tools. I don't know if anybody's writing. 3 projects. You just have to pick one. And think about it. You don't have to be an elegant thing. Just think. Maybe you want to map your community's history, Hayobo or Ipaja history, or Yaba. Let me use Yaba as a popular case. You can use Google My Maps, which is similar to Google Maps, but this seems to be your system with Google Forms. You are trained to do, okay, there are 10 histories of Yaba, which I can think about. So we have some students mapping 50 historical sites in Yaba, interview held us there. Walking tour using that Google by Maps, And many people begin to download it, attracting more people. And before you know it, you can submit a news article to the Guardian to feature that project. That's just one form. The second scenario, you want to analyze Nigerian literature. You pick and you download a book, e-copy, maybe a student sitting down there, think about Achebe's novels. You want to look at how many women were mentioned and what percentage across all the novels, from Things Fall Apart, No Longer Tease, Arrow of God, Artists of the Savannah, A Man of the People, and on and on and on. And There Was a Country. You want to map and you see the tragedy, the statistics that you can bring up. That's something you can do. The last one, you are interested in digital cultural heritage. This time around, you are using Omeka. Omeka is also a free tool. Down on your system, archive. Maybe there is a particular Ologunẹru family in Ibadan, and you're interested in that structure. You want to learn about the history. So what do? Maybe one or two students who knows the historical family and record. You want to digitize maybe 20 to 200,000 or 200 photographs from so year. You interview family and on and on and on. Within 3 months, just 5 people. Second project, within 6 weeks, one person can do that. The last project, within 2 months, one person can do that. These are pretty much easy. It doesn't need to be perfect. But what do you think about DH and your field when you think about where do you want to work? It's the rich humanities field. The benefit of being in humanities is huge to career pathways. So I have 6. Of course, this is not limited. You can become a software engineer. So you have your background already, your critical thinking, your domain expertise, your ability to build tools and think about it. Let me see if I can mute. Somebody's on mute. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Writing, either UI or UX researcher. You already have a skill set, close reading. You can read a novel back to back and think about it. Narrative, intuitive interface, and all what have you. Maybe you are in mass communication or in English, you want to work as a data journalist or a research analyst. You already have your background in historical research, data. You're good. Maybe you want to become a digital marketing or social media or program manager, or last one, technical writing, which is huge. I love that area to communicate difficult scientific products, software solution to people who want to use it in English language. Check this. 4 months to become a content strategist, 6 months to be a data journalist, 3 months to become a digital marketing team lead, and right now you can become a program manager or project manager. Just start a project, you are the manager, and you direct different areas of it. 5 months to become a technical skill. Humanities discipline, along with, in addition to DH methods in the future, in the global scale. I have this role currently at 100, second, third, fourth year. But let's assume you are in the first year. What do you do in addition to taking courses? What were highlighted to us at the beginning of the intro? Take courses that would help you beyond your English and whatever courses you're taking currently. Take courses from IDH. I've listed other things you can do within the put up your certificate on LinkedIn. Yeah, everybody will celebrate with you. Yeah, everybody wants to know what you want to do next. Maybe you have to move from the first year to the second year. Maybe some of us are already good in coding and the rest. What do you do at the second year? You have to complete at least one project. Programs, maybe grad programs, maybe in Nigeria or elsewhere abroad. Or you write Google certification. I remember 2023, 2024, I started for Google developer. Over 6 hours or 4 hours. That was too much for me to cope. But I felt I need this thing. I need to sit down and code. But you think about the certifications you would need to take now that will help your field and your level. At the third year, you have to publish something, maybe in a conference or an abstract, or attend a big program, Unilag. By the time you submit first and second, they will say, would you like to come? Then they paid for it. Then you have to just look for a passport or travel down and present what you want to present there. The fourth, building, publishing, and launch. Maybe you want to take a grad program, or you have a Shepherd scholarship, or you have a British Council scholarship, or whatever form of what's that level of first year. So for those of us in first year, you have this long roadmap to take, which is very helpful. Remember, we began with a factory of who you are, what you know, and your network. This is also summarized in 4 ways. In minimal computing, which is a subset of DH, it's believed that you start with what you need right now as you're. Number 2, what do you have? It's still similar to the theory operationalized. Number 3, what must we prioritize? What takes my time that will give me a big result? And what are you willing to give up? I'm concluding this section now. You are currently working on in your field, how do you build a DH profile? I don't know. I don't know when last I checked my LinkedIn profile, but I think it's been a while because I took my time to actually do the background of I think it's there because it's what I needed at that time. How do you build that profile? First is human capacity development. Take DH courses, either from school or from elsewhere. 2, attend to what we call academic and graduate paths. Bachelors that can gain you that profile in DH. I had a privilege, I must say, of traveling to different countries before coming down here. And that was what I was doing. I want to build that profile. Then you have to join some professional organization. ADH, Association for Digital Humanities Association, Association for Digital Humanities in Nigeria, ADHN. You can join those associations to learn what's in the field. Within the Department of Faculty, student chapter of this association, which brings us to a reasonable end. So it's now your turn. Remember the question. Begin the first step. Level 1. Choose your own convenient level. Level 1. You want to explore. You are not a coder. You are not a vibe coder. You don't know how to. study and attend one conference or one event. That's all. Every expert started with one thing. Don't take too many things, just one. Maybe you are the level 2, you are the builder. You have to complete just one project in the next 6 months. Build a present that study somewhere. A completed project beats 10 unfinished ideas. I have an idea, I have 2 ideas, but you're not doing anything. But once you start something and you complete it within 6 months, that's a good way. But the third level is the change maker, which are just 5% of people. Year program, maybe you start a student chapter like I mentioned, or you publish in a journal, or you build a tool or data set. You're just building data set. This is how you become the one giving talk. So you can become somebody who will be invited to give a talk about how you'll be able to manage or the question is, will you start or when are you going to start? I'm going to stop right from here to take questions. So thank you very much. And I'm happy to take more questions from the audience. Please feel free. This is one thing I love to do, to see how the global scales things that can help you to navigate your pathway. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Felix. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Please, one more round of applause for Mr. Felix. I think I speak for everyone when I say that was really high. I'm sure we've learned a thing too. Am I correct? Yeah. Okay. So we will now open the questions and answer session. And if you have any question, please just signify by raising your hand. Anyone with questions?
I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Just a moment.
Okay, that's fine.
Not like USB. You understand? So you can't force it. Problem. Let's see. Just a moment. Just a moment. Let's see. Okay. It has to. Please speak.
Please, my name is Alice Manuel, and I'm a 300 level student of English and Literary Studies. Thank you so much, sir, for this teaching. That's really insightful. So, my first question is, you can be generous enough to share the slides with us so that we could refer to it for future purposes. Then, secondly, my question is, I learned from this teaching that you yourself were a student of English and Literary Studies, and your major in this thing, your first degree was discourse analysis. Now, as the student of that same course, these various varieties, how were you able to just zero in on discourse analysis, and how did that connect to what you are doing now? Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, that's interesting. Thank you for the question. For the slides, you have the slides, and if you need more slides, I will send to the. I have a couple of them that I presented somewhere, so that might be helpful. So I'll push them out. Not really specialized in a particular field. I had English literature at the bachelor level. I was doing well in phonetics and other language area. I was doing pretty much well in literature, but not too much of my strength. So when I moved to a master's program in Ibadan, I just
His network is now.
can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Can you
So I can hear you.
respond? The mic is in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so for specialization, I moved into language, specifically discourse analysis, because I was interested in. It's still the same question I'm asking. Back then in Ibadan, when I was writing my master's project, I wanted to write on computational linguistics, but that was not what they could offer. I knew what I was looking for. I was just, okay, you have to do this discourse. I need computation. I know discourse is good, but I want to combine it with computer methods. So that was what took me out. And I felt, okay, if you need to really do something, then you have to do something about it. So it wasn't like digital humanities. The major shift was from digital humanities to information sciences, which is a long one. But the nearest that you can think about is just from your present discipline and to the nearest neighbor, maybe computational linguistics or university has a strong link in that. So it's not a hard and fast true thing like a bucket thing. The interest was there. I wanted to learn more. I took up some.
But not so I had to do a set up with using my account yesterday in the night till 3 a.m.
Can you help me, please?
To run it here for it to see if it will work.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Step by step. I was taking the knowledge, I was developing myself, and I now saw the opportunity or program that can enable me to do that. So that was how I moved that shift. But initially, I had that interest in computer, interest. I'm still asking the same discourse analysis question, even though I'm in information sciences. The same question. So it's see me as an humanities person, even though it's not that way, but I still have my background strongly connected. So I'm not living how I was able to come up with this way. I don't know if that works. Did that answer your question?
Yes, I know, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any question? Please don't be shy. Ask your question whichever way. Any question? You guys are looking at that shy. Ask questions. Anyone? No questions at all. About your course, about how you can use this. Critical humanity and technology, not matter.
Um, um, Let me talk to the person. I'm not seeing the screen now. So I know I'm a teacher. I know how to do it. So give it to the next person. We can talk on that. Yeah.
Any others?
Who is the next?
You know things that I love, I'm not realizing in my belief. What you love might not be what you're supposed to do. Get motivational stuff. The location matters. Exhaustion. That means. I hope you're ready. It's just
So I'm waiting for them to write a question. I want it to.
Okay, thank you.
funny. Never is this person. There's something indicating the connection to them. And start continuing, there should be something important in the connection. That's why that's inside.
Yeah, I don't know.
That if you are only speaking, I did it in the night, even 1 or 3 a.m. today to something. He did not like even if we have I'm just like to get guidance. Yeah, I need to be you have to be. Yeah, I said we got off on there's one person on the side. It is very bad visa.
No, I think it's outside. It's not that this one.
My name is Monica from the French department. I want to ask you, how can I use the French language to navigate through digital humanities?
Network.
Can you say that again?
I want to ask, how can you use the digital humanities to navigate as a French student?
We're thinking about translation, machine translation. Remember, translation has to do with from source language to a target language. Particular tool from the slide. So when you get the slide, so you can actually look it up. But the thing is, you want to translate from maybe one French language or maybe to English or to Yoruba. Yeah, you still want to retain the same focus. So the best method is to use some of the NLP softwares that can help you to map. That comes to my mind is after the talk, reach out to Professor Richard Aja from University of Uyo, who is a French professor, which I think you should know. And he's also a strong person in digital humanities and will be, I mean, he has check the software I mentioned for French translation, then reach out to Professor Richard Aja. I mean, today, if you can, just send an email or you call in. If you need his number, that shouldn't be a problem. So there are a lot of opportunities in French studies that you can actually build on using machine translation. So the best thing is to look at a book that is written in French, or those opportunities can be very useful when you want to do such works in Canada, which is more of English and French speaking countries, or you go to France, or maybe nearby countries that can really foreground your ability to interpret those texts and your learn a particular tool that will help you to do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you speak up? Yeah, I can hear you, but you can just hard up a little bit.
Okay, so my question is that, like, I got to become a client, and there's some things that I can, some say that and if my own skills, like, I want to speak on things that other students. And for instance, I know you have like an interest, maybe skill, or let's say combining these two skills with the humanities field, then how can you be able to like sustain this interest while still like engaging in school activities and many other activities on campus? Like, how are you able to focus? Now we're able to just make sure that you're sustaining this interest without distractions, without like maybe just making that desire to die down. That's the question.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a good question too. To be honest, you have to. I know what the challenge is. You have your primary assignments, and you have to have all A's in your courses, no B's. You have to attend fellowship or prayers, and you still have to do other things. How do you cope with learning? Like you mentioned something that's strike the chord: interest. So the first thing is you have to have interest. The question you're asking is how do you sustain it? First thing first, have interest that you want to do something beyond the English or whatever course you're doing that can help you to bridge the gap. Just create interest. Begin with reading. Maybe during break time or during holiday or during vacation, just stay with, I want to read about this area. Read. Don't learn tools. Don't the interesting thing you do. I remember back then, sustaining interest. I wrote it down. I have to attend 20 conferences in a year. I'm referring to Nigeria, not outside Nigeria. 20. I'll go as far as MENA. Look for conference. I'll apply, and it's always funded, so I'm not going to pay. Then I'll travel down. I mean, at that level, but for your level, just read. Read things that can help you to learn that tools. By the time you are done with reading, then ask questions about projects that you can join. That's how to sustain interest. You read. The next one is, what are you people doing? Maybe you'll have somebody in computer science doing something on a particular project, not in your field, but you just want to have interest and see what they are doing. Then join a project team or start a project on your own. You don't have to do that 7 by 7 students. You read this hour per day. It's compulsory. Then you minus the time for church and library or for eating. So you have to have this structured time. Like, okay, I want to use 7 hours or 3 hours to read in a day, just for my own course. I can take 30 or 1 hour to attend to projects. So you read, you do projects. you have to create if you finish today and you reach out to Unilag, you might fortunately see one event coming up. Maybe this is first quarter or second quarter. I mean, there should be a summer coming up. Join it. Speak to Professor Tunde Ope Davis. I'm a 300 level student and I would like to participate. You don't have to pay just that way so that you see what people are doing. By the time you are done with your undergrad, you'll be able to see that interest grow and it's not going to be difficult. But the real thing is read. Feel good to ask questions from your lecturers, then join projects, then attend maybe one event in 6 months or 1 year, just one. Just one. Just show your face. You are not presenting. You are not just want to sit down, be looking and be eating their food. I did that a lot. Just go there and eat. It's good. A graduate program. That's the interesting part of it. Unilag is starting DH Masters, DH certificates. You can just start from there. If you really, 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 really want to go after it. So for me, I had to look for opportunities to be able to sustain the interest. Sometimes you feel, I remember when I traveled out, it was too costly, it was too much, even though they paid for it, but the cost I bear was good, something good. And I'm still pushing it. I mean, I'm still sustaining the interest, even though not the level you're talking about it. So it's not going to be too far from here. Just start from somewhere. But if you need help, reach out.
Hope all is well. Check your mic. Is he on? Yeah. Is he green? Then he can hear you.
Not too good, but fine. Yeah, go ahead.
What people have passion for something else, but not in line with literature or computer, but you are studying English and literary studies. What can I do?
You have a lot to do. um, I wanted to study law, so I ended up going for English. But you know what? It's a bird in hand. I have to do it very well. So even if you have English program, do it.
Something is mitigating the network in here.
I can hear you very well. So what I'm trying to say is that concentrate on what you have. You can pick it up, you can develop it, but what you have currently, that's the program you're running. Just put yourself into it and finish it. Then you
The network. Yes.
do very well. I can hear you. I don't know if it's the network over there. Using a cable network. I'm not sure if this is the network issue. So
Something is
bird in
missing.
hand.
Don't know
It's a
what.
bird in hand. Do it. And once you are done, you can move on.
This okay is his network that is low. Look at it. Is his one that is turning red.
The whole complex thing is interesting and beneficial. But whenever I'm portraying to be surprising and things, I find it tired. Is it because I don't have interest? Because I feel there is need for me to learn more about the technology, but to find it more. What ways can I find it?
I am not a motivational speaker. I will tell you straight to your face. It's not everybody that's supposed to do technology. There are some they are built for business. Business is just what they know how to do very well. Some they are built to teach people other things. Some they are built to. So just go for what works for you. If you force yourself into something, you will crash. Just because one person is doing it does not mean you have to do it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gifted in. Like he can hear you. It's just his network is low. Look at his network. He's showing red, 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 red. It's his network that is low. His bandwidth is low. So
You're showing that your network bandwidth is
it's not mine. It's his own. Look at it. Say something. Say something.
Can hear you very well. Can you hear me? Wasn't getting it, but I had the rest as usual. Do what works best for you. I didn't get the question very, but I had the response.
Person said, they find that when like this, more, even though it is interesting and beneficial, that they feel there's a need for them to learn more about technology. So they find what ways can they find it? What can they do to find technology and actually learn their business?
I'm trying to understand the question quite well because of I can't hear very well, but these are the things I would really want you to concentrate on. Know yourself. That was where we started from. Know who you are. And what you are currently doing with what you can learn. If you feel your area of expertise is good, you can just learn the basics. Learn the basic of the technology that will help you to move on in. So you just concentrate on your field and see what you can develop at the side. So may have a main focus on your own field and see how to learn the basics from the technology so that you can be audible enough.
Give a remark. So in essence, you're saying the person should know what works for him, then he would respond. That's how to make him know that you heard. Network here is poor.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, the person should
What,
try to know themselves first
know what works for them.
and know what works for them, right?
Next time, go do this thing for open field. I don't like this network issue.
From where you're speaking, is that using another network or another audio? I can hear you from where you're speaking now.
Let me have another mic in the pocket.
Okay, how do we get better audio?
It's not the audio that is the issue, the network. Network. The audio is not. The network is the
Which network are we using?
It's the router. It's the Wi-Fi, right? It's the Wi-Fi.
Is it the one
Can hear you. Can hear you very well. So how come? Yeah.
So sorry, the lecture was actually very cool, and then you would delete because it gets to you and you're so we tend to wait a little before your video comes in. When you respond and it takes longer, of course, you don't send a response across to you. So that's why there's a bridge in communication. No, it's not there.
Okay, so that's the end of questions for today. Please can we appreciate this available? I'm sure we're all doing something. Yeah. I know that when we leave here, we're going to be working towards putting in our course of study and combining with technology and practice. Please give yourselves a round. So thank you all for the questions this morning. Because of the program. I would like to invite Ms. Joy Ayodele to give the vote of thanks. Please go.
Over here to guess the system. So there's something it's in network. You move things far from
All widely big small anyone. So I actually want to thank you for me. Yes, for taking our time to attend today's thank you talk, which the game is global opportunity. Each time remind me and global opportunity. Before reminding me with your support. Teacher meant and very difficult to learn that. And I'm sure you've learned a lot from definitely forget and you are stepping into everything that you understand. I think how we can actually merge and move it and then work on one or two areas. And I'm sure you've learned it, but it's taking something away from me. Am I correct? So, I sincerely want to appreciate you all for coming. And I also want to appreciate Mr. Felix Oke again for joining or taking our blame on this wonderful event. Choose process. Also training them because personally, as I was said, I was actually.
It's the network that is integrating, that's why.
I wish I was.
This is what I used to only when I studied to supplement TPF now. This is the same connection I use. But here it's as if something is breaking.
Right.
Extremely difficult. Yeah. For big. See my file here.
So, for taking out to engage our students and teach them on this. Thank you so much, sir. I also want to appreciate the Professor Felix leadership of the institute for giving all these opportunities. I don't think we ran out. Giving all this initiative to engage students, not just state humanities. We also basically have other technical for other faculties, and they also be coming here on different topics that would actually benefit you, not just play in school, but also outside in the general world. So I want to appreciate you for this opportunity. And thank you once again. Thank you. Thank you once again for coming. You took our time in your day to come here and sit and learn for 2 hours or almost 2 hours. Like
You said you registered early.
so
So I don't want your
next time. Thanks so much.
Invited. I'm part of Media Connective. I'm going to.
I'll take your question.
You wanted to ask a question? You can direct your question from.
And also you.